Okay, second attempt at the intro. I was looking at the screen here, and the little plug right there. Right there, can you see that? Was unplugged a bit, so it'd only be in mono. Yes, you have to pay attention to details. It's like in the bedroom. So this morning we woke up to plus 10 Celsius, but feels like plus 50. Yes, that's the years of some of the cats in the kingdom. And also, too, Johnny G has arrived. He's got a short day, not much freight to deliver, but it's just supplies for everybody to keep going. Yes, to keep going. Hopefully he's got bread in there so the staff can buy me some fresh loaves. Yes, fresh loaves. All right, so it's hard to believe. For all these years, I thought my black water tanks with 4,000 gallons, and then those 10 green garden hoses from Canadian Tire and a bunch of lawn sprinklers. Yeah, I was going to save the kingdom because I figured this close to WHO-ville, if the fire got close, they would water bomb and keep the fire at bay. But not. I learned quickly it doesn't work that way. You have to have full protection. So we have over 20,000 gallons of water. Yes, we got to remember the staff's house too. 20,000 gallons of water in stock or in supply. We got 4 Honda knockoff pumps. We have hoses and hoses and hoses. And plus we have wagons and everything. So we're well prepared for the demise of the great fire to arrive. And that's all that's been happening. And I'm glad that fire over there is part of the ex-wife forest fire. Yes, it wasn't a lightning strike. Oops. Oh, I got the burps. Lots of peanut butter and honey today. I treated myself. I put honey on. So that fire over there being part of the ex-wife forest fire makes me feel good. It wasn't a lightning strike. Because if the lightning can strike over there, it can strike here. Yeah, we still got green around the kingdom. Yes, we worked hard to keep it green. Because if we didn't have green, it'd be a little cold and windy come winter. All right, the sun is over here. It's slowly moving over because the summer days are getting shorter. Summer is basically ending. Hopefully we get the rainy season in September to put out the ex-wife forest fire. Yes, the rainy season. We are actually looking forward to it. All right, we made one full rotation almost. We're going to go into WHO-ville, buy some fuel because we topped up everything and fill up that water tank before the power goes out and the town isn't treating the water. Yes, we got to get that water treated because fish have sex in it. Well, we better go. Here comes the boss.
Friday morning in WHO-ville, it's just after 9 a.m. and it looks like we're going to head up and get some fuel and then we'll do water and that'll be about it for today. My knee is extra sore, so we're going to have a nice slow day. So let's head on over and get some fuel. Just waiting for my dad to go by so we can get some fuel and look at my purple bellflowers. They are finally starting to bloom. They are very pretty. Look at those guys. I got 4 of them in total this year. Still not sure where they came from. 9:30 and we just finished getting fuel. Only needed to top up the diesel slip tank. Now we'll head over to my house and we can start pumping water. Made it back to the house and now we'll switch over from the big black tank and put that hose into this tank here. Then my dad will take the quad back to the kingdom and in about 2 hours, depending on the water pressure in WHO-ville, the tank will be done. 11 a.m. and I'm just waiting for the water tank to be done and I look over here. That is the Lightning McQueen fire flaring up again. Once I get the quad back, I'll head up onto the mine site by the muster point and do a little video for you guys showing how big it's getting right now. I could see it all the way from my doorstep.
Okay, we bought a little bit of fuel. Well, WHO-ville still has power, and we're topping up that water tank so we can have water for the house so I can have a bath. Yes, so there's no wind yet, but the sandflies are bad, so it's going to turn nasty here, I think. All right, so the staff went and filmed and took pictures off the, she deviated from the original trails, parked the quad in the shed here in the hose shack, and guess what? That tire went flat. So that means she picked up a nail. Now, if she stayed on the trails we travel on or the roads, we wouldn't have a problem. So now I got to air it up. So I got the hose out here. And if I'm fixing that tire, I might as well fix the one on this side of the quad. It has a slow leak. So every 2 days, the staff has been putting air in it. So this is going to be our slow day, a relaxing day, since how we work so hard. Okay, that was nice relaxing. I could sit on my little stool and water the tires. So this quad here had a leaky plug, so I put another plug beside it, and this one over here had a quick in and out, so it was a rather large nail that went in and out, but oh well, we got it corrected, and we'll keep going till there's so many plugs in these tires they'll look like porcupines. Yes, porcupines. All right, let's continue the quest.
11:30 and the water's officially done, so my dad will head back to the kingdom.
Okay, lunchtime in the kingdom, and we're doing it differently. Usually we pump off the water tank into the shop tank, but the shop tank is actually quite full because we did hauled water just recently. We want to stockpile the water because of the fire south of WHO-ville, close to the power lines, known as the Lightning McQueen fire. So I decided we'd do it differently, park the water tank up by the trailer up by the house, and we'll cover it. Yes, we'll cover it so the sun's not beating on the water, because you got to remember, fish have sex in this water, and the last thing we need is that hot sun to incubate anything that's in the water. All right, let's go burn some lunch in the microwave.
Now I'm going to head up to the mine site where the muster point is that I've been doing my last few videos on the Lightning McQueen fire, because as you can see, it's flaring up pretty good, so let's go check it out. Up on the mine site, and there's a little bit of wind, so sorry about the background noise, but this is how the Lightning McQueen fire is looking right now. It's starting to flare up pretty good. Our hydro lines are just over here a little bit where my finger is. It's past the hydro line, but it could turn around and hit the hydro line again, or the little fire that's over here could go into our hydro line and take it out as well. But so far we still have power. Let's hope it stays that way. I'll kind of pan around and show you guys everywhere else. This is where the ex-wife fire was, and I'm not seeing any smoke from it. Sorry about the background noise, it's getting windy out. Now we'll head back into WHO-ville and make lunch, then at 1 p.m. I'll see what my dad's up to. I will be keeping an eye on the Lightning McQueen fire though. I'll come back up here in a few hours and see how it's looking. 1 p.m. and I'm just finishing up lunch, and I'm going to head up to the store and go grab some milk and bread. Hopefully they have some. Truck did come in this morning. Then I'll head over to the kingdom and see what my dad's up to. Have to bring a box with me since I don't have any bags, and I doubt there's any boxes at the store.
Okay, after lunch in the kingdom, and it's kind of getting warm out here. Not much of a breeze, but the fires are getting active because it's getting hot. And since how we had the air hose out for the quads, we figured we put air in the wagon tires and Thor. All right, so it took me a bit to figure it out. I had to go look for the Thor tire tools. They're the ones with the 90-degree ends on, so you can fit them in there. And the front ones, the valve stems stick straight out. Yeah, like a semi-truck, yeah. So we had to find those, so we put them back in Thor. Also, too, my welds are not leaking. Thor's at a slight angle, so the breather thingy on top, the flap, is letting the water trickle out. So it comes down around the side of the tank and makes it look like my welds are leaking. But no, I'm a pipeline welder. My welds don't leak. Yes, all right. Let's go park Thor, and then we continue the quest.
1:30 and I made it to the kingdom and put the milk away for 2 big jugs of milk. It was $18.38, which isn't bad. As you can see, the whiskey jacks are after the dog's treats. Ash is like, stay away from my treat. Oh, the whiskey jack is sitting on top of the weather thing. Looks like my dad is just tinkering around on a few things today. He's just getting ready to park Thor over by the big boat. Then he'll get the Mini out and go play around with the pipe that we put in the ground yesterday and make sure it's all set up and ready to go in case we have to use the sprinklers. I'll head back into WHO-ville and put my knee up for a little bit there, and then I can run my sprinklers later on.
Okay, seeing how I can't consult Jack Daniels for great ideas on the trench here. The pipeline, yes, the pipeline in the kingdom, yes. Oh yes, it's approved, yes. And also too, you have to support the Victrolix, yes, because you can see it's leaning over. Yes, it's not too straight, just like that leaning tower of pizza. Yeah, that pizza place over in Italy. All right, so we're going to take a barrel, like a fuel barrel like that, cut it, slide it over, call it good. But then how in the fall do we take that 4-inch clamp off? Like, we have to take it off. Like, this water has to drain out, or it's going to freeze the pipe and create us problems. Also too, what happens if we do have to do maintenance and certification? Yes, my welds might have to be inspected, so, and stuff like that. So we're going to build a box to fit the hole. Yes, I made the hole and visualized if I was taking that pipe on and off, but we don't need the box very high because we want it just high enough so we trip over it. Okay, this is working out good because we're at trailer 8. Yes, that is trailer 8 because that's trailer 7 and that's trailer 9, just like on Sesame Street. All right, so we got the work table out. That's what we use for a work table. We move it around with the loader. Yes, the 922 Caterpillar loader. Yes, the greatest thing since sliced cheese. Rear wheel steering, so thought is required as you drive it. Yes. So we got into the storage trailer there with the lumber. We picked out the crappy stuff. Now we're going to build a box. And it's not going to be straight. It's not going to be true. And it's not going to be level either. But we're going to build a box. But then again, I'm a pipeline welder.
2 p.m. on my way home from the kingdom. I wanted to come up onto the mine site here to show you guys how the fire's looking. As you can see, we have a flare up here now. There's one in the middle and then one off into the distance. And then if we look all the way over here, that is not a cloud. That is actually the Grief Rapids fire where Johnny G lives. It's about 100 kilometers south of us, and that fire is so big you can actually see it from WHO-ville. But look at that. Starting to pick up again. There are supposed to be water bombers here, so hopefully they can get this put down a little bit. But I'm sure they'll be going over to the Grief Rapids fire that's just over there. It looks close, but it's 100 kilometers away from WHO-ville. And Grief Rapids was evacuated as well. Only Johnny G and a few people are left over there. But you know that fire is big. If you can see it from WHO-ville, I'm sure they could see our fire from Grief Rapids as well. Getting ready to head back into WHO-ville, and as you can see, the Lightning McQueen fire is starting to pick up again. It was not that black when I first got here, so that means it's getting into fresh stuff that hasn't burned yet. Then off into the distance here, you can still see the Grief Rapids fire getting even bigger. Now we'll head back into WHO-ville and I can put my knee up for a bit. I'll come back down here in a few hours to check to see how these fires are looking. Almost 4 p.m. my dad just sent me a message asking to come over to help him lift a box on top of our little pipeline, so I'll head to the kingdom and give him a hand with that. Looks like we might actually get some rain after all. Made it to the kingdom, and it looks like my dad is ready to lift over the little box that goes on top of our pipeline. He spent the afternoon making it, so I'll walk up and show you guys. Him and his trusty hammer. This will go over our little pipeline. He already has the hole dug out with the mini, so let's carry it over there and put it into place. The only thing this hammer is good for is to scratch my dad's back when he gets bit by mosquitoes and horseflies. Got the box into place no problem, and somehow it is level. Not sure if you can see that, but all 4 ends are level. Not sure how we managed to do that. Not sure how the box ended up being flat either. Use the mini to put all the dirt back in around the hole and smooth it out. Now my dad's gonna make a little piece for the top here to hold the pipe together. That's what he's doing right now. He's just gonna put a piece on top to make sure this pipe doesn't move around. Almost 4:30, it looks like my dad has officially done the box, so I'll head back into WHO-ville and let the dogs out. Then I'm gonna run the sprinklers for a little bit to soak down the yard. It may or may not rain. Stopped up on the mine site just to show you guys how the fire is looking right now on my way back from the kingdom. As you can see, there's some white smoke way off into the distance. Then we have some white smoke here as well, and then all the way down there too. So it's moving pretty good. Then if we pan over here, that right there is the Grief Rapids fire. As you can see, it's getting pretty big over there. It does look like clouds, but that is fire. Looks a lot better than it did at 2 p.m. though. Now let's head back into WHO-ville and let the dogs out. Made it back from the kingdom. Now let the sprinklers run for a couple minutes just to soak down the yard and the house. I do still have to adjust a few of the sprinklers, like the ones on the roof there, but my knee is still too sore, so I'm not climbing up there just yet. As long as they cover the roof, that's all that matters. So let's let them run for a few minutes. Once that's done, I'll let the dogs out.
Okay, just about quitting time in the kingdom, and I got my box done. I put a lid on it so I don't trip and fall. I put some screw nails in it so I don't trip on the lid and fall in for sure. Yes. Now we just have to put some rocks right there and it'll all be good. Yes, it'll be good. So I'm going to buff it up quickly with the grinder. Yes, I am a welder doing carpentry. And over here, we'll just scroll easy. There's not a breeze, so the bugs are eating me alive. Yes. So we got some firewood here. Look at that. So every project equals firewood. We're so pleased. I can just feel the heat coming off of that in September when the rainy season hits and no more fires. Okay, we're done for the day. We put some landscape rocks right there to give this pipeline a curb appeal. Yes, curb appeal, we'll call it that. Yeah, that's so we don't hit the box. Yeah, I should have made the box taller or something, but that worked out very well. It really cost us nothing. I used up the nails. That would bring nothing at my estate sale. Be like a fellow like my dad would go to an auction sale, buy stuff for $1, bring it home, and then for his estate sale, it was all sold for $1 too. So I never, oh no, don't increase in price. But that's the main thing. We got using up materials and products, and even these rocks. Instead of tossing them in the wilderness, we put them here so they look good. All right, let's go see what the dogs are doing and the flags. Okay, that's the smoke over there, way over there. That's the fire heading to Grief Rapids. So Johnny G will be not sleeping well tonight. Yeah, he'll be sleeping with one eye open like in Enter Sandman from Metallica. Yes, and they'll block off the road. The fire will cross the road. We can't figure that out because we know where Dick is now. Yes, Dick. He used to fly the helicopter and torment the old guy. Now guess what? He's flying the float plane. And he takes off and he flies right over my frickin' house. He did that several times today. Yes, so we know where Dick is. We can't figure that out. How come these float planes are flying to lodges when WHO-ville is closed? The local WHO-ville people aren't allowed here, but the lodges can bring in guests that buy our limited amount of gas and fuels and buy the stuff that's on the shelf because they're not bringing much in. We can't figure it out. It's pretty screwed up. So the roadblocks are up. We're not allowed to travel, but the lodge guests can arrive anytime on frickin' real. All right, let's go walk the dogs. Oh, that's me. I'm tired today, just like the flags. All right, let's go walk the dogs, drink some Sabanab, and hopefully, well, yes, hopefully the computers like me. We can make a video, and then we do this all again tomorrow. Yes, this is getting boring, like a marriage. Talk to you later.